Death, it never comes easy. But when you're already dead, you have nothing to lose. I swear to God, this is a true story. This is one crazy, unbelievable story that took place in World War I. A very tiny, small group of Russian soldiers defended Archivist Fortress in Poland. On the morning of August 3rd, 1915, during World War I, a 21-year-old Russian soldier named Vladimir Kotlinsky looked from behind the stone wall of Archivist Fortress into the landscape. It was nothing there except swamps and forests. But it was surrounded by trenches filled with 7,000 German soldiers. During World War I, Russia and Germany were at war, and the Germans really wanted to take Auschwitz Fortress from the Russians. But they couldn't. For the past 6 months, they've been trying to take it. But Vladimir and 900 soldiers would stop the 7,000 German soldiers from taking it. Basically, Russia and Germany reached a stalemate. Both sides were doing nothing, just sitting around. But on August 3rd, Vladimir would look outside, look down to a nearby trench, and he would see several high-ranked German officers talking and looking to the sky and looking down like they were going to do something. This made Vladimir nervous because Vladimir was the person in charge, but he was young and unexperienced. So he really didn't take the issue seriously and told himself, whatever these guys are doing, it can't be that bad. And he would go downstairs and hang around with the other Russian soldiers. 3 days later at 4 a.m. in the morning, the Russians that were keeping guard would look into the landscape, and they would see a huge grayish-greenish fog coming their way. They didn't know what it was, so they would call other Russians to go see it. Hey, other Russians down there, come up here and go check this thing out. But before they could even go there, they would hear things like falling on the floor. Birds were just dropping dead. And that fog, anything it touched, it just crumbled and like died. And it was coming their way. Everyone started coughing. They were under a chemical attack. I can't breathe. It would turn out that 3 days earlier, when the German soldiers were looking up in the sky, they were calculating the wind to see which day they should launch this attack. The chemical attack that the Germans launched on August 6th was one of the worst possible. It was bromine gas and chlorine gas mixed together, and once it binds to moisture, it becomes hydrochloric acid, and if you inhale that without a mask, it becomes acid going down, and it dissolves you from inside. It's like melting you. It's terrible. Time out. Like and subscribe. God bless you. Do me right. I wouldn't do you guys wrong, and you know it. Let's go back. Time back in. Once you were hit with that gas, you were basically dead already. No one can save you. But you don't die instantly. You die in a very long time, and in a very painful way. During World War I, people didn't fight with chemicals like that, so the Germans knew the Russians had no masks. But the Germans had masks. Vladimir looked outside, and he saw the other Germans coming at them with guns shooting at them. And he would turn back and go to the Russian soldiers and tell them, guys, we're already dead. Let's have our legacy. let the world remember us. And he persuaded the other Russian soldiers to get out there and fight. So they all grabbed their guns and ran outside and started shooting at the Germans. The Germans couldn't believe what was going on. They dropped their guns and ran back into the trenches. And the Russians were shooting each one by one. The Russians were winning because the Germans that were out fighting went and told the other Germans. The Russians became zombies. And when they said that, everyone got scared and no one wanted to fight the Russians. And the Russians were just shooting at these people and bayoneting them. But all of a sudden, Vladimir would get bayoneted right in the stomach. He was bleeding, so he grabbed the guy that bayoneted him, and he would spit blood right in his face. Whew. The guy got so scared he dropped his weapon and he started running. Vladimir got the gun and started firing at the Germans. And then he would turn around and tell his soldiers, let's go back to the fortress. We gotta destroy this place. If we can't have the fortress, no, we can't. Every single Russian that came in contact with that poisonous gas died, including Vladimir. At a later date, the Germans would enter the fortress and take it, but it was useless. It was destroyed. Vladimir would be awarded Russia's highest military honor. Vladimir and the other Russian soldiers are remembered today all over Russia in songs, stories, and statues. I'm Ahmed Basile. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Please comment your opinion on this story. And please like, share, and subscribe. God bless you. I'm out of this joint.